Queen Mary is already a major force internationally, with 44% of students international and staff and students coming from over 150 countries worldwide. Professor David Sadler joined Queen Mary last September to take forward the international agenda as Vice Principal International. QMUL people caught up with David and first asked him about his background and what attracted him to international.
So my academic background is in geography, and more particularly economic geography. And my research has explored the interconnections between international economic change and development and urban and regional change and urban and regional policies. So more precisely asking the question, why is it that some cities and some regions grow more quickly than others and some decline more quickly than others? So I've always been focused on international comparative research, and my research has taken me to various parts of the world since the days of doing my doctoral thesis, my PhD. More particularly, I think that the whole question of the future of higher education is now completely wrapped up with internationalisation. Put another way, I think international higher education is very much the most exciting future area of change in the world that we all work in.
So what did you do before joining Queen Mary?
So immediately before I worked for Queen Mary, I was working on secondment from Liverpool University to a joint venture university created by Liverpool with its Chinese partner called Xi'an Jiaotong University, but based at a town called Suzhou in China. Suzhou is one of those Chinese towns that are lovingly described as a small city of about 10 million people. And in the time that I worked there, which was a 5-year period from 2010 to just a few months ago, the university grew from about 2,000 students to 7,000 students.
And what are your first impressions? I mean, is it living up to your expectations?
It's very much lived up to my expectations. It's been a very terrific experience so far. I've enjoyed meeting a whole range of new exciting colleagues across our different campuses, getting to understand our ambitions in this agenda and beginning to set out my own vision for the future development of Queen Mary International.
And what attracted you to Queen Mary?
Everybody says that Queen Mary is a values-based university, and we all have our own take on what those values are. For me, those values are central to why I wanted to come to work for Queen Mary in London. The values of diversity, the values of being already a very, very international institution with a very strong international reach, and the values of collegiality, of support and mutual respect.
And what are your plans for international?
We have a draft version of international strategy, which is now there for consultation purposes. It is a very early draft. I'm very much hoping that our colleagues around the campuses have the opportunity to read and think about what's in there and to feedback through the various processes that are in place. We have a series of consultation processes being established over the next few weeks with an eye to the strategy being agreed across the community early in 2015.
How can colleagues input into your plans?
So the draft strategy is there on the web. It's there for all to read and to consider and to feedback directly via email. We'll be holding a number of small sessions where all colleagues have the chance to contribute their views. We're hoping that schools across the university take the opportunity to consider the strategy and feedback directly their views on the way forward.
And what do you see as the major challenges for the year ahead?
We have a number of big but also quite exciting challenges ahead of us, in my view. We have a challenge of making sure our processes of communication are improved and enhanced to make the most of the already very good work that we do in this area. We have a challenge of expanding our international offshore provision in line with the targets in the college's strategic plan, both expanding and deepening the work we do in our offshore provision. We have a challenge of growing our international student numbers on campus at a time when that environment's increasingly competitive, when other universities are trying to match us in the work we do in recruiting international students of high quality from around the world. And just as importantly, it's important for us to ensure that those students, those international students, feel an integrated part of the community, that they feel an integral part of the whole Queen Mary community. And we have a challenge as well of our own students being encouraged to spend time overseas, either in study or work overseas. And lastly, by no means leastly, we also have a challenge of continuing to expand the international collaborative research that we do, that's so central to our reputation as a research-led, highly international university.
Tell us a little bit about yourself outside work.
The odd answer to that question is that we've been experiencing a process of almost reverse culture shock, of adjusting to life back in the UK in the last few months after 5 years of living and working in China. The great plus of that is it's been a chance to meet up again with friends and family who we saw only infrequently in the last 5 years. The other big plus, for me particularly personally, is the chance to watch some good football again at more sociable times of the day. Football is still not a big thing in China. I've missed seeing some good football.